Donald Trump is trying to hurry up the Senate. Hey, guys, get with the program. You have got to pass this bill. I want it by January 4th. The reason he wants it by January 4th, folks, is because as the bill becomes more evident to more people, as people realize that hospitals are going to be closing, as people realize that they're going to lose their health care. I mean, you know what? He wants to hurry and get it through because he's not coming back. He doesn't really care. He just wants to get that money for the rich folks who paid to get him installed into office. I want you to listen to Brendan Boyle about what's happening in Congress right now, what this bill is going to do, and make sure to share it to all your friends and families. This is the week. Next week is the week that you have got to get in their skin. You have to put the fear of losing everything in the skin. Check this out. We'll take it on the other side.
Today, our next guest, Congressman Brendan Boyle, said this about the Trump Republican budget bill.
Here's the state of play. According to the Nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, the Republican bill, the big, beautiful bill for billionaires, will throw 16 million Americans off their health care. That is a fact. It will also deny nutrition assistance to another 4.5 million Americans. Why? In furtherance of more than $5 trillion worth of tax cuts, almost all of which go to the top 1% of Americans. In fact, this tax cut will end up being an increase for the bottom third of Americans when you look at the bill in its totality. So there is no defense on this side of the aisle for any actual instances of waste and fraud and, frankly, criminality. But the real fraud here is to pretend that 16 million Americans who are going to lose their health care are all just defrauding the system. That doesn't pass the smell test. No rational person recognizes that millions and millions of Americans are going to lose their health care, but they're all somehow fraudsters. What an actually insulting perception one must have of the American people.
Punchbowl News reports during a closed-door meeting yesterday, Senator Mitch McConnell gave a short speech to Republican senators saying in part that failure is not an option, but McConnell also added this, which we're told shocked many senators in the room. I know a lot of us are hearing from people back home about Medicaid, but they'll get over it. In response to that, New York's Democratic Governor Kathy Hochul said Mitch McConnell and the rest of the Senate GOP have the best health care in the world. But if you get sick, they want you to get over it. Joining us now is Democratic Congressman Brendan Boyle of Pennsylvania, the top Democrat on the House Budget Committee and a member of the powerful Ways and Means Committee. Representative Boyle, thank you very much for joining us tonight. This net effect of what this bill means, taking in all the governmental interactions that affect the bottom third of income earners and taxpayers is something you've been able to highlight. Tell us what it actually means.
Yeah, great to be back with you, Lawrence. And briefly, the Joint Committee on Taxation, as well as some other independent, nonpartisan outside organizations, have analyzed this bill in all of its components. So not just the changes in tax rates, but also the changes to, 4.5 million people losing SNAP, 16 million Americans losing Medicaid, the $500 billion worth of cuts that are now impacting Medicare, and on and on. And when you add all of that up, what you find is the bottom 1/3 of Americans by income will actually be poorer as a result of this legislation. That, in terms of dollars and cents, is every household that makes under $55,000 a year.
We have several Republicans who've come out and said, hey, these Medicaid cuts, in the words of Josh Hawley, are immoral. We always like to quote Josh Hawley at Democratic press conferences, that they are immoral. Or we have heard that Senator Tillis was distributing pieces of paper showing how much it hurt North Carolinians when it comes to the Medicaid cuts. We also know other senators have raised issues. We have another group that is talking about the impact on the debt. They're right. It's bad.
And in addition to what Senator Klobuchar is describing in the Senate, as you know, there are 16 House Republicans saying they cannot vote for what the Senate version of the bill does with Medicaid. Is it possible that this bill will fail in either the Senate or the House?
It's certainly possible. Remember, it only passed by one vote in the House of Representatives. And I think the way things are looking in the Senate, I wouldn't be surprised if that's a one vote margin as well before finally the bill comes back to us in front of the House for a final up and down vote. I will say, though, when it comes to Republicans standing up to Donald Trump, I'm not going to bet my mortgage on that, because there are a number of House Republicans that are in what's called the known to fold caucus. They will huff on a Monday, puff on a Tuesday, and by the end of the week, they are voting with Donald Trump 100% of the time. So I think that outreach from the American people, given the deep unpopularity of this bill, could make a real difference, specifically for those Republicans who are in battleground seats.
Yeah, and that's the point that Republican Senator Tillis has made to Republicans, saying that they'll lose control of the Senate, they'll lose control of the House if they vote for this thing.
Look, this bill, and again, these aren't my numbers, this is Congressional Budget Office, the official scorekeepers, it will be the biggest loss of health care in American history. I have absolutely no doubt whatsoever that if Republicans succeed in passing this bill, they will lose the House of Representatives next November.
And that the 16 who are listed as claiming now that they will not vote for it, they're telling their constituents, 16 of them, we will not vote for the Senate Medicaid provisions. So they either violate their own public pledge to their constituents, or this bill fails when it comes back to the House, if it comes back to the House.
Yeah, although I would just remind us that every single House Republican, except for Tom Massey, has already voted for the biggest Medicaid cuts in American history. They already are going to have to own that vote. So they've been tested once before. They have failed that test. And here is really the opportunity for activism from the American people. We have seen protests upon protests over the last 5 months. It's really been inspiring. But I think over the next couple of weeks, we need to see even more of that to turn up the heat, again, specifically on those Republicans like Tom Tillis in North Carolina and about a dozen or so Republicans in the House, whose real race won't be the primary as it will be the general election come next November.
So absolutely so, folks. Brendan Boyle is absolutely correcto. He's absolutely right. This is the largest decline in healthcare that we are going to have in ages. This is the instantiation of much of what McCain protected us again when he took the unpopular MAGA position and voted it down. Well, it seems like Donald Trump, with all the machinations, is going to vote it up. And folks, we don't have any other segment of government on your side. The Supreme Court today proved who it is. The Supreme Court proved today that it's on the take. It believes in autocracy. The Supreme Court told you that today. The only thing that's going to move us forward going forward is you, all of us, actually demanding the change. We are going to have to do the heavy lifting. We are the ones that are going to have to put the two parts of government that we control directly in power. That is meaning in 2026, the legislator, which means the House and Senate, have got to be taken. And then in 2028, the presidency, the Supreme Court, after we take those two stances, we have got to mitigate what they did with the Supreme Court, what they've done using dirty tricks. And it's time to get Democrats with spines, because again, if we had Democrats with spine back in 2000 during the Obama administration, etc., we would not be in this pickle that we're in right now, created by a Supreme Court that was bought, created by a lack of spine in fighting for the American people. Well, you know what? David Hogg, are you listening? Do the job. You're doing a good job. We've got listen to me. McDaniel, we got one. We need to keep it going. We need to keep it going, and we need to take this country back.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel. And number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.